Welcome to Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda. I don't know when your build up to Christmas starts. When is it that you really are in a place where you don't feel it's too early to hear Christmas carols, to see Christmas trees set up, to see people having Christmas lights outside their homes? I know for my American friends, they often see it as soon as Thanksgiving finishes, a week before the end of November. I know in my case, it's 1st of December. 1st of December for me seems the right time for the build up to Christmas to begin. In fact, if we delay putting our tree or our lights up, I always feel a bit guilty after the 1st of December, because I know that really, once you're into December, the build up to Christmas has begun. But of course, in our Take Fives, we're building up to Christmas by looking at the Old Testament books and how God, over thousands of years, actually built up towards that first Christmas, by book in the Old Testament, revealing more and more of the Messiah, the Son of David, who would be born to Mary in Bethlehem. And today we're looking at the book of Job, which the book of Job is, now many Bible scholars think the book of Job is the oldest book in the Bible. They think that the events there recorded go back before the time of Moses and the first 5 books of the Bible. But it's also one of the most difficult books of the Bible to understand, because we see this man suffering. And it's like God let Satan loose on Job and said, okay, on you go, do what you want to him. And I remember once a young Christian, asking me in a Bible study, well, what if God does the same thing to me? What if he lets Satan loose on me like he did on Job? Well, here's the thing. Job doesn't make a lot of sense on its own, because it's not meant to be read on its own, because Jesus answers the questions of the book of Job. And so the book of Job, you can think of it almost like a 2-part story. And the first part is Job, but the second part is Jesus, because Jesus is the answer to all of Job's suffering. Even Satan's power, Satan had power to afflict Job, but Satan does not have that power. Now, he's still evil, he's still active, but he doesn't have the power that he had against Job. Why? Because Jesus won an amazing and wonderful victory over Satan at the cross of Calvary. And Jesus himself said, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. And some people think that was Jesus looking back to some event that happened before Jesus came along. I believe it was Jesus looking forward prophetically, looking forward to the cross, looking forward to the resurrection. And he's saying, I saw Satan fall like lightning from heaven. Jesus took all of Satan, everything Satan could throw at him. Job took it all, and the Bible says, and yet in all this, he did not sin or curse God. Jesus took everything Satan could throw at him, and he did not sin or curse God either. Instead, he transformed everything that Satan threw at him and turned it into salvation for us. And what I also see in the book of Job is that Job responded to suffering by worship. Whenever he was told a great tragedy that had come against him and his children killed and everything, the Bible says he fell down on his face and he worshipped God. And Jesus has taught us that the correct response, even to difficult times, even to tragedy, is to worship, because worship has a power all of its own. Job knew that he needed a mediator. He actually cried out at one point, oh, that there was somebody to stand between me and God, because he's too great and mighty for me to negotiate with him and ask him why this is happening. And of course, Jesus came as our mediator between man and God. And finally, Job looked forward to resurrection. In the midst of all this suffering, he had a revelation from God. I think it was an Old Testament equivalent of when God gave Peter that great revelation, and he said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. But Job had a revelation, and in the midst of all of his suffering, and with the limited knowledge of God that he had way back in the Old Testament, Job said this. He said, I believe that my Redeemer lives, and I shall see him. I shall be raised up, and I shall see him at the last day. Job looked forward to his own resurrection. He looked forward to the resurrection of Christ, and he looked forward even to our resurrection, when we shall be raised from the dead on the last day and stand face to face with Jesus. So I thank God for the book of Job. Like I said, taken on its own, it's like watching the first part of a TV series and never watching the second half, and you think, what was that all about? But when you put the book of Job together with what we know about Jesus Christ, it all makes sense. And today I worship the Jesus, the mediator, the redeemer, the risen one that Job looked forward to. May you worship him too, and join us again tomorrow for another Take 5, your 5-minute inspirational message from Solid Rock Drogheda.